there were two children who lived on a farm. And it was a warm summer night, and the children were running through the cornfields playing hide and seek. And they were having a very good time hiding from each other, running around behind all the tall stalks, having a wonderful time. A little too much fun, because they all of a sudden realized how dark it was becoming. So they began to make their way back to the house, but it got darker and darker, and the children became afraid as the stalks began to move back and forth in the breeze, began to take on the appearance of people walking with them. And the little boy began to cry. And he started running first one way and then the other. And he was holding his eyes wide open, trying desperately to see something familiar through all of the corn stalks. And finally, his sister grabbed him by the arm. And she said, "Be quiet. Shh. Stand still. Very still." And when her brother finally stood still and listened, he became calm, and then he could hear what his sister already knew. In the quiet, they were able to hear the sound of their parents' television. Off in the distance was the sound of the television in their living room. And so by quietly following the sound, they slowly made their way home. The children didn't get home by frantically running this way and that. No, they got home by listening, by letting go of what they thought was the way to find their way out. In the calmness, in stopping and listening, the answers to their search was found. The nature of faith requires us to surrender our human certainties and the calculations to which we cling for dear life, as God whispers in our hearts and our minds, "Let go. Let go. Let go of our plans for human security. Don't try to fit God into our plans, but try to find our place in God's plans. Make God our first concern, and God will take care of our concerns." Much like the young man whose mother was disabled, and there were times when he needed to carry her up and down the stairs of their home. And the routine was rather predictable. They would go down a couple of steps, the mother would grab hold of the banister, and the son would say, "Mama, you have to let go. We can't move unless you let go." And the mother would say she was afraid he was going to drop her. And the son would tell her, "If you do not let go of the banister, I'm going to count to 3, and then I will drop you. 1, 2. And Mom would let go. And down a couple of more steps, and then she'd grab the banister again. And the son would remind her of what was going to happen if she didn't let go. Perhaps that exchange is something like the exchange between us and our Lord at times. We keep grabbing and holding to the security banisters or habit banisters that we think keep us safe or as part of our routine. And yet our Lord reminds us that we can't move. We can't turn around or turn away from or turn towards real security and wholeness as long as we hold on tightly to that which is not good for us or turn from our past way of living. This night, we are asked to let go. To let go without the fear of being dropped. For our Lord lifts us up on eagle's wings. It's getting close to being that kind of weather where young people can go out and fly kites. It's a fun activity. But it's also one that helps us to understand God's relationship with us. A long-time analogy is of a little boy flying the kite that was hidden in a low drifting cloud so that it could not be seen. When a man came along and asked him what he was doing with the string, and the little boy said he was flying his kite, but the man said he couldn't see a kite. How could the boy be sure there was a kite? He couldn't see a kite. And the little boy said, I don't see the kite, but I know my kite is there because every now and then there's a little tug on the string. A little tug on the string. In just a moment, as music plays, you're invited to begin listening for God, to seek God's tug for you to let go. In your bulletin is a piece of paper like this. And on there are some questions that you can ask yourself. Is there something you want to change in your life during Lent? Is there something for which you want forgiveness? Is there something that has been bothering you or making you feel guilty? Perhaps there's another question, another aspect of your life that you want God to speak to you about during these 40 days of Lent. And you're going to write this on this paper with the little pencils that have been sharpened in the pew, right, Sandy? And then you're going to fold this up, and when you come forward to receive the mark of the ashes, you're going to place it in the container in front of the communion table. And during the entire season of Lent, during worship services, we're going to pray over these petitions. Let us now go to God in silent prayer and reflect.